Hey, what's happening, Hoodlum gang? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Hoodie from the Hood, aka your friend from that big O N, and I'm back at y'all with another video. But before we get started, if you're new to the channel and you happen to want to become a member of the Hoodlum gang, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button. It's free. Like the video, leave me a comment below, share the video, tell a friend to tell a friend, hit that notification bell, go on over to IG and follow me at Hoodie from the Hood. Now check it out. I had another topic in mind. It was actually gonna be a story. I'm gonna tell y'all that one tomorrow. I chose to speak on this video because I seen two videos today that, had I been invited into those conversations, not only would have wanted to participate in those conversations, but I feel like I could have added to the topic. So I seen these videos back to back. I seen the video with Spider-Loc, and he had Baby Runner and Lupe, shout out to all three of them, on the Facts Over Feelings podcast. And he had brought up a topic that I think maybe sometime last year became a thing. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Well, the topic was how come Blacc and Brown don't do a lot more collabing together as far as raps. This was a question that Blue Devil, shout out to Blue Devil in the hater world, he had to ask Spider-Loc when he had him on the channel. And Spider-Loc's answer was kind of controversial to some people. And even Baby Runner kind of alluded to it being offensive or controversial. And his response was, when I mean his, I mean Spider-Loc, his response was, see, one thing about Spider-Loc is he's a thinker. And I can tell he never thought about this. And the question may have even caught him off guard. So when Blue Devil asked him, why don't Blacc and Brown collaborate more, or at least in the past, his response was something to the effect of them not mastering the English language and there being a disconnect. I 100% believe that Spider-Loc wasn't trying to be disrespectful or offensive. But there is some truth to what he's saying. Also, there's it's a half truth, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah, I get it. It's hard enough to learn a language that is not yours, and then to try to creatively make music out of that language is even harder. Also, I believe a lot of Chicano rappers put themselves in a box with that whole Chicano style, which is pretty much Mexican gangster rap. I believe they put themselves in a box with that title. I don't know if they came up with it or if somebody else started calling them that, but it became a thing to where it was like, that's over there. So I get what he's saying. And it's not just Mexicans, it's anybody where English is not your first language. You're gonna struggle at being elite lyricist or storyteller, whatever the case is. I think a lot of whites have mastered it, but hey, man, that's because English is their first language, just like us. So it's easier for them. Now, why I say it's a half truth, is because what about the Mexicans who wasn't in ESL and they speak English perfectly fine and they were sitting in the class right next to us? I get the way they pronounce some words might be different, but overall, if they came out the womb knowing English and Spanish, because some of their, especially nowadays, back in the days, you could have had 2 parents and neither one of them spoke English. And you only learned English at school, so you're behind. I get that. But nowadays, like I got Mexican homies and their babies know both. From the time they was born, they're responding and talking to you in both. That's why that argument is half true. But like I said, even if somebody spoke Jamaican, well, that's English. Jamaicans speak English, but it's a broken English. They're going to struggle in trying to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? That's why they got their dance hall and their own thing going on. I don't even think they trying to come over here like that, because it just it don't mesh. So that's more so what I think what Spider Loc was trying to say, as opposed to trying to be disrespectful or anything. He's just saying if that's not your first language, it's gonna be hard. And then it just, the style and the cadences is different, homie. There's been a few examples of Blacc and Brown collaborating back then, and for the most part, I don't think any of them stand out. You do have the lighter shade of brown. What is it about y'all know what song I'm talking about, the kicking in the park on the Sunday afternoon, whatever that song is called. That girl was Blacc singing the hook, but I mean, it did mesh perfectly. But we talking about rappers. I know Eazy-E signed Brown Side, and they had a song called East Side Drama, and I don't think it meshed that well. I think Eazy-E had a cool verse, and I think their verses was cool, but I don't think that they belonged on the same song together. See what I'm saying? Like, the first verse is easy, so that's going, if y'all haven't heard it, go type it up. It's going to kind of draw you in when Eazy rapping, and then when they come on, it's kind of a change in style and cadence. But had they had that song by themselves, or he had it by himself, I think it would have did more than what it was supposed to do. That's just my opinion. Cause when old boy came on and said, "Bald head Ben Davis, I don't give a fuck. Blue ragging for the suit, I ain't down with the red." I said, oh shit, he talking. But it just didn't go with what Eazy-E was talking about. It was like, hey man, we just gonna do this song. And also, like, I don't know any other songs with Brown Side was signed to Eazy, just like Bone Thugs and BG Knockout and Draysta. I don't know if they have any songs together. If they do, I've never heard them. But could you imagine Brown Side on Thuggish Ruggish Bone, or For the Love of Money? I couldn't. Could you imagine Little Rob on Illmatic? Could you imagine Kid Frost on Wu-Tang 36 Chambers? It would have been hard enough for a West Coast rapper, whether it been Snoop or Dre or any of them, to get on those types of albums, just because the different styles. But it would have been more doable than a Chicano rapper at that time getting on them songs. Do you see where I'm trying to? I couldn't even picture Kid Frost or Brown Side on The Chronic or Doggy Style or Warren G's Regulator album. That's what he means. It didn't go together. I know the Relatives had a song, I forgot what it was called, but it was pretty much talking about like the pen, like how it is in the pen for Blacc and Brown or whatever. And I think he had either, I know Kid Frost was on that song. I don't know if he had Mr. Shadow or Little One on the song. That song was cool. I feel like Kid Frost was a little bit out of place. And I like Kid Frost on his own, you know what I'm saying? But it don't really mix. I think Kid Frost and Ice-T and what's old boy's name from Brown Side? I think Wicked. I think they got some of the coolest voices, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got narrator voices. But it don't always translate into the musical side. I know out here, I know the rapper Royalty. I know he was doing a lot of stuff with Big June and other Dago rappers that was black back then. But sometimes the content, and like I said, the style, the delivery, and the cadence don't always mesh together. At least it didn't back then. And that's what Spider Local's trying to get at. I think a lot of the Mexican rappers are starting to find their footing. But in the past, I could see why it didn't work. I don't know if y'all remember that song Lowrider by The Game. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. I think it was off one of his mixtapes. Came out around 05, 06. He had a lot of people on it. He even had E40 on it. Somebody who I know ain't had no Lowrider. But I think he was more so talking about his partner or his cousin having a Lowrider to where he didn't sound out of place. Lil Rob is on that song. I don't think he necessarily was, he wasn't awkward on the song, but the song didn't necessarily need him. I get it though, because of the content, a Lowrider, he could talk about that, so he was able to blend in and not really stand out like a sore thumb. But it's not necessarily something that we needed. You know what I'm saying? So that's more so what it is. And then the other video that I saw after was Dubs talking about why he doesn't use the N-word and why he doesn't like when Raza uses the N-word. He's made several videos about this, and even American Cholo spoke on it. That's why sometimes when people be like, oh, I don't hear none of the Mexican channels talking about them using the N-word, I don't know what channels y'all watching, because I've seen Dubs make at least 5 different videos about this, or at least bring it up, even if that wasn't the thumbnail or the title. He at least has spoken on it multiple times throughout other videos. And he was saying that he think it's the hip-hop culture, and even though he doesn't agree with Mexicans using or any type of Hispanics using the N-word, he's saying if that will bring it together a little bit more and bridge that gap, then maybe. He said, but if you're going to use it and then when you get mad you turn that A into an ER, then that's bullshit. And I agree. I feel like most people who use the N-word, even if they don't use it in their raps, even if they just use it when they talk, but when they rap, they understand how that word could be controversial and insensitive to our people, and even offensive to their people, because their people will look at it like, oh, you're trying to be black, and they might not support them or might turn on them. But anybody who uses that word, 9 times out of 10, they're involved some way, shape, or form with the culture and influenced by it. Even like nowadays, you'll hear a lot of the SA rappers talking about or alluding to pimping. I'm not saying that's the black man's culture, but we definitely was we was definitely the first to talk about pimping on records. We didn't come up with that profession. That'd been around long before any of this shit. But I'm just saying. So when I hear that, I know that they listen to blacks. So of course you're gonna start to get influenced by it. Most Chicano rappers, homie, if you ask them who their favorite rappers are, they got a black man somewhere in that. Even if they got some other Chicano rappers that influenced them, they have a black man somewhere in their top 5. I've never heard a black man have a Chicano rapper in his top 5. I've never heard a black man bumping that, like you pull up to the light and in the car next to you, they slapping that Lil Rob. Now, don't get it twisted. If the song come on, I know some of them. I know Summer Nights. Ain't nothing like them summer. I know that. That's classic. I know neighborhood music, especially because it say neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I don't listen to it enough to know the verses. I know the hook. I know the beat. I don't know the actual verses to any of them. Might know a word here or there, but for the most part, no, I don't. And that's just the truth. Like I said, it would be hard enough for somebody from one region to jump on a beat of another region. It's more now with social media and all that and everything being more mixed in. It's more doable now than it was back in the days. Like even Jay-Z being from Brooklyn, New York, was able to jump on Juvenile's High remix and not sound out of place. Could you imagine Lil Rob on High? Finna go to the store, huh? In my Cortez, huh? Bumping the oldies in my lowrider, huh? No, fuck no, hell no. That shit would have been trash. Do you see what he was trying to say? Mastering the English language. I like I said, I think it's more so style and cadence and actually what you're talking about as opposed to the whole ESL thing. But like I said, that was something that he was put on the spot about, and that was his response. I think had he had more time to think about that, he wouldn't have doubled down. Now he already said it, so he doubling down. But that's what Baby Runner was like, yeah, I think it's more so the styles just don't mix. Nowadays it do. Nowadays I think you could put a group of Crips and Bloods and Sudaniels and even North Daniels. I think you could put them in the room and come out with a dope-ass Cali compilation. I think so now. Because it's more, everything is more meshed together than was in the past. Damn, that was a dope idea I just came up with right now. I don't even think nobody ever thought about that. If y'all see somebody do that, you better tell them niggas to thank Hoodie Hood. Because that would be dope. But anyways, man, that's my video for today. Like I said, I was going to come with a story. I'm going to come with that one tomorrow. And, yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Are y'all familiar with when Spider-Loc made those remarks? If y'all haven't seen it, it got uploaded a few hours ago. Just go to Street TV or Facts Over Feelings. Type it in, you'll see it. Go over to Dub's channel. Check that video out about why he don't use the N-word. And then y'all leave y'all comments in their sections too. With that being said, it's your boy Hoodie from the Hood, a.k.a. you know the rest, man. I'm about to enjoy the rest of my break. I'm out.